Good afternoon, this is CloudChartist with your weekly Ichimoku wrap-up for the week ending July 8th. This is July 10th, Sunday afternoon, and we're going to start off looking at the ES. We see the ES had a very bullish week last week. We continued the uptrend that we began last week, although technically we confirmed the uptrend from last week because last week we simply had a reversal after bouncing off the bottom of the cloud. So we closed pretty close to the highs, although we did put in a topping tail into this area of prior resistance, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in the week to come. We do have, we are fully bullish in Ichimoku terms. We're above the cloud, above the Tenkan-sen, and above the Kijun-sen. The Tenkan-sen is bull crossed over the Kijun-sen, meaning that the blue line is over the pink line. Chikou is free of the cloud. What we do have coming up this week, and into the fall is a lower cloud. So be aware of the Tenkan-sen is going to be very important as we move forward. Tenkan-sen is currently at 2053.50. That will should offer support. And if we do at some point in the upcoming weeks lose the Tenkan-sen, then we could be concerned with the potential test of the flat cloud below. Wherever there is a flat in Ichimoku, there is a potential level to attract. So, but for now, we are bullish in always Ichimoku on the ES. Let's look at crude. Looking at crude, that we see that we did actually reverse to the downside after last week. We were in a downtrend as we. Let me get a little bit bigger. We did put in a lower high and a lower low last week, although we did close above the cloud or 2 weeks ago, I should say. And last week we closed inside the cloud. So we're back from previously being bullish in Ichimoku terms on the weekly time frame for crude into being neutral. Anytime price action is inside the cloud, we are in neutral. You can see that we have quite a bit of cloud coming up and sideways for us to continue to find support and be in neutral territory. If we continue to move lower, we do have support down here at the Kijun-sen, which is currently flat at 38.86. Of course, I don't expect such a large move, but if we want to get a reversal to the upside, we're going to see the Tenkan-sen come into play as potential resistance at 47.35. So keep an eye on that level. So next week's candle is going to be right in this area here. So we will also have resistance at the top of the cloud. And I'm going to guesstimate that's around 46.26, 46.25, something like that. So keep an eye on that 46.25 level if we do get a move to the upside on crude. Let's look at the Russell. Russell had a bullish week last week as well. We came down and we tested actually underneath the cloud. We closed underneath the cloud last week. Let me zoom in a little bit. We closed underneath the cloud last week, and then 2 weeks ago, and then last week we came down, tested below the cloud and below the Tenkan-sen, and then we blasted off and put in a close above the cloud. So we went from bearish in Ichimoku terms last week to bullish on the Russell 2000. You can see that the cloud is sloping downwards and coming down to a plateau. That plateau starts in the beginning of August, thereabouts, end of July, beginning of August. So we could potentially expect a test of the Tenkan-sen which is currently at 1133.50, which will probably be pointing up when the new candle opens up. I'm going to guess it will probably be maybe up around 1144. So watch the Tenkan-sen for a potential support if we do come down. And if we lose the Tenkan-sen, then the chance of a test of the flat cloud in the next couple weeks, or next, 2 or 3 weeks is possible. But for now, we are bullish in Ichimoku terms. I just want to take a peek at the Chikou. The Chikou you see is inside this cloud here and is neutral. The cloud goes up a lot higher. Let me show you that. So the Chikou will be finding resistance at the top of the cloud at approximately 1240.90. So if we do get a strong move to the upside, we don't see any resistance over here from the active price candle that's going to be forming, but we will have resistance of the Chikou coming into the top of the cloud. So, and that is going to be at 1235, 1236 specifically. Let's see, 1237.80 is the official number. All right, let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is bullish, above the cloud, above the Tenkan-sen. We came down and almost tested the Tenkan-sen, but not quite. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see that clearer. And then we blasted off and put in a close above the cloud, right into this prior resistance level, just like the ES. So we could, if we fail to get above these tails, these topping tails, then we could continue lower. If we do move lower, we can expect to be supported by the top of the cloud and wherever the Tenkan-sen is. Chances are Tenkan-sen will open up a bit higher because of the momentum to the upside that we had last week. So wherever the new Tenkan-sen open, I'm going to guess it's probably going to be around 4408, something like that, 4405, 4404, 4408. We can expect that to offer support moving forward on the NASDAQ. We do see that we have a thin cloud and a twisting cloud moving forward. That usually indicates sideways action is in store. Tight trading range. We'll see if that indeed comes to fruition. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Oops, sorry, I already looked at the NASDAQ. Let's look at the Dow. Dow, bullish hammer type candle into prior resistance. We have not yet to test the prior high of 18,334, so that could be possible this week. If not, and we get a reversal to the downside, we can expect there to be support at wherever the Chikou over here comes in contact with the cloud. So that's looking to be approximately 17,750 if we do get a retrace back to the downside. And then there would also be support at wherever the Tenkan-sen opens up next week, which should be higher, reflecting this upside momentum here. But as in the other charts that I've gone through so far, we do have a flat and lower cloud below in the future. Let's look at some gold. Gold's been on a track higher. Basically just really strong uptrend still in play. You notice that we did hit the red line on the weekly RSI, so that's significant. Let's zoom out and see if we've seen that happen before. Not recently. Let me look at, see if I can get a longer. How about 20-year weekly? So the last time we hit that overbought on the RSI was all the way back here in, wow, that was quite a while. Well, we almost hit it back here in 13, and we did hit it, multiple times back here in the 2010, 2011, 2012. I'm sorry, 2011 and 2012. I'm sorry, 2010 and 2011. See so we haven't hit that overbought in a while. So we'll see if that causes anything to happen. We are pretty far extended over the cloud and over the Tenkan-sen here as well. Let's look at silver. This is interesting. You can see from my bigger picture, so let's zoom back out, a bigger picture shot of silver that I did fib silver previously on this chart. And we're headed into this 23.6 fib area. So if we zoom in closer, we are overbought also on the RSI. Currently with silver, it's been an extremely strong trend. We did put in quite a long topping tail, and this is a potential reversal type candle for silver. So after this very strong momentum breakout, we can expect that it wouldn't be surprising and not unhealthy for us to get some sideways flagging type action, or perhaps a pullback to the Tenkan-sen. Tenkan-sen is currently at 1852.8, but will most likely open higher due to the upside momentum, maybe around 1925. We'll have to see where that opens up. And let me zoom back out a little bit so you can see where this the 23.6 level is not until like 21.92, or sorry, 91.92, 21.92. So that's a ways to go before we hit that level. But you can see that that area was between 1838 and 2192 area had a lot of prior sideways consolidation. All right, let's look at some bonds. We see that after a period of sideways consolidation, we did get a strong breakout to the upside with the bonds. I have mentioned the potentiality of this for quite a while, and that's exactly what is indeed happening. We did put in a new high at 177.09 on the 30-year Treasury bond. We'll see if this upside continues. We see we have a very nice rising cloud, which is what you'd want to see in this type of bullish setup. We are overbought currently on the 30-year Treasury bond, so it wouldn't be surprise me to see perhaps a potential retrace or a little sideways consolidation. Let's see, the last time we were overbought was, in this area. We did have some downside momentum, more downside momentum. So we'll see what happens with the 30-year. Let's look at the 10-year. Similar, although yet we are not quite redlining on the RSI as far as overbought goes with ZN, but a similar chart. We've been putting in topping tails on all of these last candles. We do have one here. In this particular candle, the body, the topping tail and the bottom tails are pretty much the same size, and the bottom body is only slightly larger than the tails. So potential for some sideways action looks pretty decent on ZN, the 10-year. Let's look at the dollar. There's been a lot of action in the Forex market, in the euro and the sterling lately, obviously, also the Aussie. The dollar is currently neutral in Ichimoku terms. It's closed inside the cloud after closing outside the cloud. It's following the contour of the cloud nicely on the weekly time frame. So we do also have the Tenkan-sen sweeping up to act as support from the bottom. So we also have the Chikou here, which is out of the cloud, but the Chikou is going to come into the Kijun-sen right here at approximately 96.56, so we can look for that to offer potential resistance as it did previously. If the Chikou can make it over the Kijun-sen, then we could come up higher and maybe potentially even test the top of the cloud up here at 97.75. We do have an uptrend, although technically, actually, I'm wrong. Sorry, we do have a new downtrend, as last week we put in a lower high and a lower low. Let's just look at 6B, the futures contract for cable. Not looking very bullish. This is a since 2003. It's very long term. The last 13 years of cable, and you see that we're making all-time lows here. So nothing but bearish presently for cable, for the British pound versus the dollar. I'm going to end it on that. Thank you for watching my video. If you are interested in learning more about Ichimoku, please do check out my website at CloudChartist.com, and feel free to hit me up on Twitter at CloudChartist, or send me an email, cloudchartist@gmail.com. And I would appreciate it if you liked this video to actually like the video on YouTube. Apparently that will help my bandwidth at some point if I decide to broadcast live. At least that's my understanding. Anyway, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and good luck trading this week.